What's crack lagging? It's your boy Baroshmo, just in case you did not know so. We're back again, this time with some of my favorite sleepers in this class, going on into the 2021 NFL Draft. Yes, we are all of maybe 24 hours away. It's going to be wild. I can't wait. Draft's going to be a great time, but I'm going to give you my top 10 sleepers that I think aren't getting enough love and that could be really good gets in this draft. Go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave that thumbs up if you enjoyed the content. We will be here live for the draft all 3 nights, so join me for that. It will be a festivity. I don't know why I said it that way. Also, my allergies are kind of going off, so bloodshot eyes, stuffy nose. My apologies. Go ahead, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let me know who are some of your sleepers in this class. But without further ado, let's go ahead and let's do the nitty gritty and go on in to Alim McNeal. Man, I love Alim McNeal. I really see him fall into the third round all the time during mocks. And a lot of guys probably have him in that range. Even when I was talking to Alex from the Hail Mary podcast, he had him in just around the 90 to 100 area, just because defensive interior is kind of devalued in this draft because a lot of people view it as a weak draft. But I got him as my defensive interior too. He's quick off, like just quick out the gates for a man his size, now about 317. Dude, he's a constant pocket pusher, even when facing double teams. Shoot, I always talk about the triple team he faced against Virginia, where he was able to clog a pass lane, deflect the ball, pick it off, break a tackle, take it for 6. I love him a lot. And in that NC State defense, especially the defensive line, they're kind of similar to TCU. They teach defend the run first and foremost. Actually, UCLA is very similar in that regard too. And I guess that's why I'm hiring a guy like Osai Digizua and then probably the majority of the draft community. But I know he doesn't have a great toolbox of pass rush moves, but just the raw ability is there. I love his get off. I love the athleticism. I think at the very least you're getting a very good run stuffer, a guy that can play the nose. You may question if he's a 3-down player, but on the defensive line, I think this guy's going to be phenomenal. Next on the list is Josh Palmer, a guy I've been talking about for quite some time now. Really think he might fall to day 3, where I think he will be a steal. The dude had the highest the highest win rate at the Senior Bowl, second highest win rate at 81%. But he also did that with more snaps than anyone else. I think Cade Johnson had the highest win rate, but Palmer had significantly more snaps during the Senior Bowl. In terms of size, athleticism, ball skills, this guy could be near the top of the class, man. Yes, he can develop a bit more in some regards, especially as a route runner. But I think he's better than most people will give him credit for. He was stuck behind guys like Jawan Jawan? Is it Jawan? No. Jawan, something like that. Jennings, Marquez Callaway there at Tennessee. The quarterback play always terrible. He never eclipsed 500 yards, but I came out before the Senior Bowl, was like, hey, this guy's a sleeper, someone to watch for. He knocked it out of the park. He had a good pro day, good enough for me, for a guy at 6'10". Did I say 6'10"? 6'1", 210. There we go. But yeah, man, I get really excited. I think this is in a draft full of slot receivers. He's one of the few that I think can play, like for sure, without a shadow of a doubt. He is an instant day one outside starter. I'm in love with the cat. And then I got Kendrick Green, a guy not getting necessarily a lot of love, man. I see at least like Todd McShay, even Daniel Jeremiah talk more about him as if he's an early day 3. As you saw in the Hail Mary podcast mock draft, I was willing to take him in the second, man. I think a lot of the NFL sees him as a center, but man, dude, like this guy's just been, it was like big step after big step over the course of 3 seasons. I love his experience there, mainly at left guard, but he played a little bit at center, which is where the NFL, like I said, kind of sees him. But he's so quick out his stance, very explosive. We saw that at the pro day, dude. Explosion out the wazoo. His length less than ideal, but I think it's fine there on the interior. But he's very fleet of foot. Strength, not really his game. He is going to be kind of a zone blocking scheme type of guy, especially an outside zone. I think it's kind of the ideal fit, but I love Kendrick Green in the build up to this draft. And then as we continue down the list, the names will get a little more obscure. Austin Watkins, man, I've seen people think as far as he's an undrafted free agent. Dude, 6'3", 210, probably one of the best route runners in this class for a big guy. I kind of talked about Palmer, but man, Watkins, I get it. Nothing really jumps out at you in terms of him being an athlete, but like just such a smooth route runner. He's so great at using his size to get great leverage. He's just strong throughout his frame, sure hands, strong hands. I love it, dude. That skill set just translates to success in the NFL. I think he's a very competent wide receiver too. Yeah, man, the only thing I could see is like just guys aren't wowed by his athleticism. So yeah, to see him, if he goes like 6th, 7th round, that is a huge steal. And then Derek Force out of Cincinnati is not getting a lot of love. I've moved him up to my safety 10 in this class. I've seen him brought up as a late, more of a late day 3 guy. I mean, for me, his pro day popped off and I had to go look at it. I mean, just looking at this cat, okay, his explosiveness, his vertical, his broad were in the 85th and the 95th percentile. 4.4 240 was phenomenal. His 3-cone was good. It was sub 7 3-cones. It was in the 61 percentile. Like, I kind of like this guy in a split high because I think you could do a variety of things in coverage. Slot included, man. Throw this guy in the and slot in the red zone, and I think you got a guy that can cover tight ends or bigger receivers. Like he does a solid job wrapping up. So really a guy that I think has some great versatility. He doesn't have necessarily the best range, but I think his movement skills are good enough. And he has solid games on tape against Georgia and against Ohio State. Like, those were actually really high points for me when evaluating him. I love the cat as a prospect. I think he's going to be a steal. Speaking of another guy I didn't really look at till after his pro day, Jason Pinnock out of Pittsburgh. Probably the guy I like, him and Rashad Weaver. Probably like the two guys I like most from that Pittsburgh team in general. Like, his size is great at corner. Some people like consider him maybe a safety, but like, dude was very explosive at the pro day where like I mentioned it in my risers and fallers video for the pro day. I was like, I gotta check this guy out, and when I did, I loved it. Like, he's got great ball skills over his career. 6 picks, 17 pass breakups. He only is allowed a 41.3 completion percentage over his career. He has taken snaps inside the box, but most of his snaps was outside. Throw this guy outside. I mean, while you look and it's like, he had 4.53 speed. Like, a lot of people don't know, like, majority of the NFL's corners kind of sit around that, maybe that little, that low, high 4.4, low 4.5 area. I think I said that right. But he tested out an 82 percentile or higher in height, size, length, and explosiveness. Sign me up, please. I love it. Another safety I love in this class is Chris Brown out of Texas. Not the Chris Brown you may be thinking of. But I love this dude's another guy with coverage versatility that I really, really, really like. The dude lined up from whether it was deep, slot, box, like he kind of did it all. Decent enough speed. He has, again, another guy with that 4.53 speed. But his 3-cone outstanding, 6.85. Like, Yes, I love, the movement skills are there. He's a great processor, especially when it comes to route concepts. Like he undercuts a lot of stuff. Like I like it. And with the length, it really makes him a threat at the catch point. Like I know the size, it's not great, 5'11", 191, but still willing participant in the run. I think there's a few safeties in here that I really like as these like kind of too high split. I think you could use Chris Brown early in a lot of sub packages, nickel and dime. I would never want him lined up on a tight end though. I would never want that. That's probably a recipe for success. But dude, 5th round, I love grabbing this guy. And then Jadon Heron, man, out of BYU, no one's saying anything about this guy. They have him late day 3 at best. I mean, this guy was kind of a chess piece for the offensive line there at BYU. Like, he played a little bit of everywhere. Like, legit everywhere. I mean, just looking at his pro day, like, because he was made Bruce Fieldman's freaks list for just being a complete specimen. The BYU's offensive line coach, who used to be the former offensive line coach at Arkansas, who's worked with Frank Ragnow, said that Heron's the freakiest athlete he has ever coached. I mean, shoot, dude. Sign me up, man. Like, just look. Okay, broad jump was in the 95th percentile. Short shuttle, 94th percentile. The 40-yard dash, 96th percentile. His height is the 98th percentile. Like, even like his less than impressive workouts, the bench, 26 bench reps were in the 56th percentile, and that was probably the lowest. Like 3-cone was in the 65th. Like, he's still tested out phenomenally, and like for me, he's a developmental tackle, but he started a majority on the interior for that BYU line, or kind of rotated a bit. So I love the versatility that he could literally potentially play anywhere. Probably not center at 6'7". You kind of get worried about getting out leveraged, but definitely guard or tackle, and he could play on either side. Like, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. I'd be willing to take a 5th round on flyer on him just because of those traits and tools. And then this is another guy I was kind of late to the party on in terms of he was kind of started looking at him late in my process, was Zach Mcpherson out of Texas Tech. Yeah, like I'm not like, obviously he's cornerback 27, but I think it's a really good corner class. But I have him in the 5th round. I've only really saw him talk about in terms of like probably being a late day 3 guy. But yeah, I mean, I could get it from his size, like 5'11", 191, probably a special teamer with sub-package capabilities. But I really think like he could probably be a really darn good slot in the NFL. In 2020, 6 of his snaps came in the slot. He really took a jump in ball skills in 2020. He had 4 picks, 6 pass breakups. He's only allowed a 57.3 catch rate there throughout his career, with 2019 allowing close to under 40%. He really cleaned up as a tackler, which was kind of a huge thing. In 2020, he only had a missed tackle rate of 5% opposed to the 13% he had in 2019. And I just love this guy's short area quickness, and you could see it in his workout that he has it. The explosiveness is there. The vertical broad jump, he was in the 90th and 93rd percentile of that. Looking at the short shuttle, he was in the 92nd. Like, this guy, and it's not like he's got 4.48 speed, but like, again, short area quickness. I think he could hang downfield. He played in a very zone heavy scheme there at Texas Tech, but it doesn't mean he can't play man. Just really haven't seen a lot of it. I think he's a wonderful slot, especially if you are a zone heavy scheme. So this is a guy to look out for. Like, again, some of these guys you go back, watch later in the process, and wow. So yeah, I've moved him up pretty considerably. And then my final guy here, I've talked about quite a bit on the channel. Buddy Johnson at Texas A&M, the linebacker. I got him as high as linebacker 13. I've seen him a majority of the time being a late day 3. I mean, like post 200 picks type of range. And I get it, dude. He sucked in coverage, but it's his athleticism leads me to believe he doesn't. He can be better in coverage, and it's the dude tested ridiculously. You already knew he was kind of a sideline to sideline athlete going into the pro day. And the pro day kind of confirmed that explosiveness in the 90th, 96th percentile, a 4.57. 40, great for a linebacker. Short shuttle, 96th percentile at a 4.03. He was close to a sub 7.3 cone. Like, the dude is got the capabilities to have great, like, he should have great movement, great lateral movement. And that's what you kind of question. Like, with a guy that I think is going to project to tight end, Talanoa Hufanga, I think like his lateral movement skills just aren't there. That's why I'm like, maybe you could cover that up at linebacker. But man, dude, I've come around to this guy quite a bit. He actually got kind of thrusted into a more premier role there at Texas A&M after Anthony Hines decided to opt out. I love his physicality. Yeah, he has trouble disengaging from blocks. I mean, at 6 foot 229, that's kind of not hard to believe. And sometimes he could play a bit high. Yeah, which is that's not great when it comes to like especially tackling. It doesn't help your rapiding of up, but I think that, like, if you could work on that, like, if you could get a little lower, because, like, it just doesn't help his movement, doesn't help his tackling, doesn't really help him take on blocks playing so high. You know, it's like he's almost straight-legged out there. But, again, a lot of the traits, I love the physical, like, the athletic tools, leads me to believe, hey, this guy, I'm going to take a flyer on him in the 5th. So, yeah, that's my list, and, that's it for the video. You let me know who are some of your sleepers in the comment section below. I'm going to blow my nose because you probably could hear I'm already all stuffed up. But, yeah, tomorrow I'll be out with a sit down with Patriots Global. We do a mock draft, talk a little bit about how the Patriots, where they could go in the draft. So check that out. We will have my final mock draft out there. It's probably going to be 3 rounds because it's the final one. Let's make it big. Not 7-round big. It's a big project, but 3 rounds sounds nice. So, yeah, be there for the watch party. And until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.